without further ado, Clayton and Michaela from KinoSol.
Good morning. All right, who here enjoys fruit and vegetables? Raise your hand. All right, now keep your hand raised if you've ever wasted anything. Everyone look around. We're pretty much all guilty of it, right? So globally, 1/3 of all food produced goes to waste. So does anyone know what food waste looks like here compared to developing regions?
55%.
That's a lot more. So here is what we don't manage to finish off of our plate. But in developing regions, it's called post-harvest loss. So this happens during harvest seasons as the farmers that are living off their land try to harvest as much as they can in a very short amount of time. So 2 years ago, we set out to solve this problem. We launched as KinoSol SBC.
Okay, so this is actually a picture of our international unit. So we spent about 18 months on research and development, and this is kind of where we ended up. It's our 8th prototype, which we took to market back in May. And so what we were really focused on is we wanted a technology that was sustainable, it was durable, and it was practical in developing countries. So it's able to dehydrate fruits, vegetables, grains, and insects. And then after you dehydrate it, there's a storage component below which helps extend the shelf life so that farmers have access to their dehydrated food year-round. So like I said, we started back in September of 2014, and throughout our development process, we started with plywood and plexiglass models. It was really our MVP, and it was what could we get out into the field? And so we were able to take our 5th prototype to Uganda, and we were able to learn about the traditional dehydration methods that the farmers typically do. So what you see here is they're laying out their grains on tarp. A lot of times it's dirt ground. And so we were able to talk to the farmers and learn about the problems that they face, where a majority of their crops are lost due to environmental, pests, and other factors. And then a lot of times when they're storing it, they're only able to store it for about 1 week, and then it ends up being wasted because they're using tarp or burlap sacks that are pretty easy for rodents and pests to get into. So what we found is when we introduced our dehydrators, we were actually able to significantly decrease their dehydration times. And not only that, but we were able to preserve a lot of what they were dehydrating because everything was fully enclosed. You weren't as susceptible to environmental factors or pests. So it was a much faster and more efficient way for them to dehydrate. So when we came back from Uganda, we took a lot of the lessons that we had learned, and we were able to kind of introduce them into our 8th prototype, transitioning away from plywood and plexiglass to plastic models, and using a heat-retaining plastic, something that was very durable. So we then took our units to El Recreo, El Salvador, and we worked with a church out of Des Moines, Iowa. And so we were able to introduce our units into a community that was not familiar with dehydrating fruits or vegetables. And so we kind of had to overcome that cultural barrier of introducing a technology that they had never used before. And a lot of it was focused on education and how do we teach communities about the nutritional benefits of the fruits and vegetables and how you can consume them and save them when you dehydrate them. So our focus was really on providing farmers with a sustainable technology that will help them decrease the amount of food that they see going wasted. So by dehydrating it, they'll have more food for their families and eventually reach a point where they're able to have excess food, which they can then take to market and sell, creating entrepreneurial opportunities in their local community and helping to boost the standard of living.
So just a few months ago, we also had successful field testing occur in Haiti. That field testing was led by Dr. Brian Stewart, a biosystems and ag engineering professor at Iowa State University. He was able to collect a lot of data on numerous varieties of mangoes. So the graph on the left shows the internal temperatures of the dehydrator. We needed to be consistent around 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius to properly dehydrate the inputs. And so, summer of 2015, we completed field testing, like Michaela said, in Uganda. And then in February of this year, we were in El Salvador. And then now we are in about 18 different countries with field testing partners, and we actually launched sales in May of this year.
So another component to our international units that we ended up launching was a sponsor a unit program. We had a lot of friends and family reaching out asking how they could get involved because we weren't offering a domestic unit at that time. So by sponsoring a unit, a person can purchase a portion to a full unit and it will be sent to one of our field testing partners abroad. So it's a way for us to kind of get our local community and our supporters involved in the work that we're doing. So we have started working on a domestic prototype. It's a little bit different, as you can see in the picture, but it's designed much more for urban environments. We want it to ideally fit that urban consumer where you can put it on your porch, you can put it on your balcony, it can hang off of your window. Basically, you would put fruits and vegetables in it before you went to work, and when you came back, you would have a dehydrated snack that you could enjoy. So keeping with the sustainability of our international units, we really wanted everything to be powered just by the sun. So it'll use a natural convection system just like our international units. And it will be a great way to kind of reduce that consumer food waste that we're seeing, where you go to the grocery store and you purchase too many fruits and vegetables and you end up throwing them out at the end of the week because you haven't eaten them fast enough.
So in order to properly continue prototyping and funding our domestic urban units, we actually just launched on Kickstarter on October 20th with a funding goal of $10,000. And we're 4 prototypes in, but we're looking at probably between 2 and 4 more prototypes being needed. So in order to do that, we wanted to have the support of friends and family come together because they know if they help us fund the Kickstarter campaign, that'll equal they have the opportunity to get their domestic urban unit at a much earlier date. So we're currently on Kickstarter. If anybody here pledges today, well, we're still here. We have t-shirts to hand out in addition to whatever you pledge for. So you know. So Michaela and myself are here today, but there are 2 other co-founders, Elise Kendall and Ella Gerke. So on a day-to-day basis, Elise handles everything with the branding and the design. Myself, I'm more focused on the product development. Michaela is more focused on partnerships with different organizations from NGOs to churches to universities to hospitals. And Ella handles all of our PR and outreach. So our unique hashtag, Save the Third, if you want to have a conversation with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Now we're ready for some questions.